Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to dive into something that is, well, absolutely crucial for any professional. How to really figure out if a candidate has integrity. We're talking about going way beyond the resume to build the very foundation, the architecture, of a truly great team. This is the question that probably keeps a lot of hiring managers up at night. You've got this stellar resume sitting right in front of you. All the credentials seem to check out, but there's just that little nagging feeling. How can you be sure the person across from you is the real deal? This, right here, is where the real work begins. And that really gets to the heart of what we're talking about. Think about it. A single bad hire can cost a company a fortune, and not just in salary. We're talking about lost productivity, damaged team morale, the whole shebang. A super brilliant person with shaky character? That's a huge liability. But a person with real integrity? They can learn and grow and become the cornerstone of your entire organization. So yeah, getting this right isn't just important, it's everything. So where do we start? Well, first we have to learn how to see what's right there in front of us. We almost have to become detectives, decoding those little clues and potential warning signs that might point to dishonesty. Let's get into the key indicators. Now remember, no single one of these is necessarily a deal breaker. What we're on the lookout for are patterns. Are their timelines a little fuzzy? Do their answers sound a bit too polished, like they're reading from a script? Are they over-explaining really simple points, or maybe just totally glossing over a big gap in their resume? Each one of these is like a little thread. You just need to know which ones are worth pulling on. Okay, so recognizing the signs, that's step one. But to be a true pro at this, you've got to shift from just passively observing to actively investigating. This next section is all about the toolkit you can use to gently but firmly start uncovering the truth. And this slide perfectly shows the difference between smoke and fire. A scripted answer is something like, oh yeah, I'm a great team player and I thrive in collaborative environments. But a real, authentic answer sounds more like, on our Q3 project, I was the one coordinating between design and engineering. I actually set up a daily 10-minute sync call, and that cut our revision cycles down by 40%. Here's the final product we delivered. You see the difference? One is just a promise. The other, that's proof. The key here is to use these techniques as part of a system. When you get a vague answer, ask a targeted follow-up. Later in the interview, circle back to that same topic, but ask the question in a totally different way. It is so much harder to keep a fabricated story straight when it's being looked at from different angles. And always ask for specifics, and then actually go verify them. And remember, this isn't an interrogation, it's just about getting clarification. All right, we've looked at the warning signs and we've gone through the techniques. But what's the one single guiding principle that holds all of this together? This final section gets to the core idea that powers everything we've just talked about. This is it. This is the whole game, right here. So simple, but so incredibly powerful. Look, anybody can promise they'll be a hard worker or a great leader, or an amazing team player. But their past behavior, the actual verifiable patterns of their career and how they talk about it, that's where the truth is. A single success could just be luck. But a pattern of success, a pattern of integrity, a pattern of taking ownership, now that is character. So I'll leave you with the question to think about. Now that you have this framework, what new patterns of behavior, of integrity, are you going to be looking for in your very next interview? Because finding the right patterns isn't just about hiring another employee. It's about building something that's truly meant to last.